I offer my most loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Swami. Brothers and sisters, Sairam to all of you. By Swami's immense grace, today we have Sister Panu Chetty from South Africa, who is visiting us. Sister Panu has served South Africa as its regional youth convener in Durban, and later on she went on to serve in Pretoria as the spiritual convener and also an SSEHV teacher for teens living in Pretoria, South Africa. She has been instrumental in highlighting Swami's message through music and drama. And in fact, she very actively works with young adults in particular to produce plays based on Swami's human values. And in fact, in 2010, South Africa had an opportunity to present a play entitled Ubuntu. Am I pronouncing it right? Ubuntu. I am because you are, that's what it means. And she was instrumental in being part of that play. Today she's going to talk to us about her inspiring perspective, but mainly focusing on the transition from our beloved Swami's physical form to the formless aspect of his divinity. I also wish to acknowledge the presence today of her husband, Brother Kamalin, and they're also accompanied by their friends Steve and Ellie. So please join me in welcoming all of them to our center.
This talk to my beloved Sri Sathya Sai Baba Ji Ki Jai. Om Sai Ram, Flushing Sai Center of New York. I'm most happy to be in this cold city of New York, at home in South Africa. Is it okay? We're experiencing the nice warm temperatures so that we can enjoy the beaches there, and it was difficult to have to pack for New York, but sure, we really need the warm clothes. But we've been feeling so much of warmth from the people of New York, from the Sai centers to the people on the streets and the shops that we go to. So it's really wonderful to see divinity present everywhere, isn't that so? In my talk today, I'd like to cover, well, the topic is from the form to the formless. And Sai Baba has been very dear to me for about 20 years now, as he was the one who was instrumental in taking me from the darkness of confusion, of lack of purpose, into the light of knowing who I am, what I'm about, and what life has to offer me. And for that I will be eternally grateful. So last year when he had passed away, it was a very deep sadness that I experienced. I always used to tell all the, my Sai friends, I will never cry when Swami passes away because, we'll feel him all the time. And yet I was the one who cried the most, actually. But after his passing, I had, the opportunity to sit and cry and tear about him in particular. And it was God in that form who came to save me. And it was that God that I got attached to also. And I started contemplating on his physicalness. And, when we think about Swami, there is none like him really, isn't that so? When you sit there for darshan, and when you look at him, all I can say about him is that he's such a soft being. He's so soft, he just melts you in every way. And when you look at his face, it glows with the brilliance of 1,000,000 suns. And he gives off this aura of 1,000,000 mothers, the love of 1,000,000 mothers. And the way his robe sits so elegantly on his divine body, and his eyes that are captivating and endearing, that just melts your heart when he looks at you. And of course those gentle, delicate feet that glide gracefully past us as we sat for darshan. And his hands that just spiral in the air as he tends to all the beings in all the worlds at once. And us foreigners had traveled many thousands of miles to be there and see him, seeing God who was walking on earth. And those of us who had not been to Puttaparthi had yearned for that. That was something that we really wanted to do in this lifetime. But everything for a good reason. So the song that I'm about to sing is called There Is None Like You, and it describes Swami and the feeling of love that we all have for him. There is none like you, beloved Mother Sai. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Lord, and find there is none like you. Your mercy flows like a river wide. Healing comes from your hands. Suffering children are safe in your arms. There is none like you. There is none like you, beloved Mother Sai. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Lord, and find there is none like you. Your glories shine through the universe. You fill our hearts with your love. Praise we bring to your lotus feet. There is none like you. There is none like you, beloved Mother Sai. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I can search for all eternity, Lord, and find there is none like you. I can search for all eternity, Lord, and find there is none like you. And there really is none like Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I remember 5 days before Swami's passing on the 24th of April, I had this very deep sadness that was swirling inside of me. And I knew Swami was sick and he was in hospital, but never in a million years did I imagine that he would be passing. So I didn't associate my sadness with him. In fact, I was very worried because I thought something's going to happen to somebody around me. And this feeling just persisted day after day until we got to service on the Thursday. And on the way to service, the tears just started rolling even more. And it was such a deep sadness, and my husband asked me, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? And I said, I don't know. I really don't know what is actually going on with me. And this feeling had persisted. It was like an imminent, danger kind of sadness that was happening. Until we reached the Sunday morning and we were at Suprabhatam, and all of us were singing, and then the regional chairman stood up and he announced that Swami had left his physical form. And I remember there was like an explosion of pain inside of me. It was so painful, but yet at the same time it was a peaceful feeling, knowing that this is why I was feeling so sad, because he was actually leaving and I had felt it in such a big way. And now that he left, I allowed myself to honor my feelings and to grieve like a human should. Or in my case, this is how I needed to do it. And I cried and I spoke to him and I talked to him in prayer for many days after that. And I was trying to understand why everything was happening. And so on his 11th day prayer, I was sitting in the bhajan hall listening to the bhajans that were happening, and the tears were still flowing, and I could hear this voice in my head saying, open your hands, open your hands. So I opened my hands and the tears flowed into my hands, and as I did that, I could feel this energy, like a ball of energy flowing into my body. and filling me up. It was like a divine fulfillment that took place. And automatically the tears just stopped. And from that day, I had not felt the same sadness. But that sadness that I experienced with the loss of Swami was such a deep one. And the song that I'd like to share with you is written by Michael Jackson and sung by him as well. It's Another Day Has Gone. And it describes the pain that I had gone through. So I think Swami channeled through Michael Jackson many years ago to give us the song for his passing. And this is how it goes. Another day has gone, I'm still all alone. How could this be? You're not here with me. You never said goodbye. Someone tell me why. Did you have to go and leave my world so cold? Every day I sit and ask myself, how did love slip away? Something whispers in my ear and says that you are not alone. I am here with you. Though we're far away, I am here to stay. But you are not alone. I am here with you. Though we're far apart, you're always in my heart. But you are not alone. And so the realizations had started to hit me after that. I realized that I was attached to his physical form. He came in that form to help me, and I grabbed onto him. And I had confined God to a mortal form, to a human being. And I started contemplating, why did you have to leave, Swami? And I realized that Swami had to leave so that we can start to live very tightly. And it's just that he's become a lot more present since his passing. But really, having all of these wonderful feelings of bliss and contemplating on him and realizing that, he really does love us is not why he left, really. He gives us that assurance that he does love us continuously, right? He answers our prayers, he answers our questions, he allows miracles to take place, that kind of a thing. But Swami came in a human form to show us humans how to live. And how gracious was he? He gave us the tools that we need of our thoughts, our words, and our deeds to know, to experience, and to manifest that we are gods ourselves. And we are very powerful people. We can use our energies for the good of mankind or not. We can use it to uplift ourselves or not. And when Swami was here, he showed us how to use these tools. His thoughts, words, and deeds were in complete harmony, unity, purity. And everything that he gave off was just love, love, love. The teachings were there to embrace everybody. It wasn't just for a little group of people. It was for everybody, all the beings. He showed us what seva was all about, that we have to go out and touch people. And that seva, that act of touching people and giving, is more for us than actually for those people. And so he built free hospitals, free schools, free universities, and every project that he's done across the world is a testimony of his pure, selfless love. So when I used to sit in the prayer room and pray, and I'd say, Swami, I want a way to remember that I must offer my thoughts, words, and deeds to you constantly. And I said, how about a song, Swami? And while I'm sitting there, he gave me some of the words, and I started writing them down. And then he said to me, I hadn't finished the song, but he said to me, I want you to have the song ready by Akhanda Bhajans last year. And so I actually forgot about it for a few weeks. And 2 weeks before Akhanda Bhajans, And he says, I was sitting in the veranda outside and it was so hot. And I remember I can hear clearly, he says, that song is not ready, Panu. And I said, Swami, you didn't give me all the words, that's why it's not ready. And he said, start writing. So the nearest thing to me was an empty tomato box. Took the box, turned it over, and I started writing. And all the words came in perfect order, and the tune came, and it took 10 minutes to complete that song. And after I finished it, I can hear him saying in my mind, very happy, very happy. So I'd like to share that with you, and I hope that you use this song as well, because it is a way in song to remember that we must offer our thoughts, words and deeds to Swami. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds to you, Sai. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds to you, my sweet Sai, who lives in my heart. Offer my thoughts, words and deeds. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds to you, Sai. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds. Let there be unity, let there be purity, let there be harmony, Lord. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds to you, Sai. I offer my thoughts, words and deeds. Take them and make them sacred and pure. Fill them with your powerful love. Take them and make them sacred and pure. Fill them with your perfect love. Fill them with your perfect love. Fill them with your perfect love. And now, Swami says thank you, it's his song, hey? And now that, there's a way now to offer our thoughts, words and deeds to him. And this is solely so that I can become a better instrument of the Lord. And what does it begin with? It begins with self-transformation. Why are we really here? We are here to know that we are the light ourselves. And if we have to know what the light is, you cannot know what light is unless you know what the darkness is. Isn't that so? So, this is why we have problems in our life. This is why we have challenges in our lives. And this sort of works as the darkness around us. And when we have problems in our lives, our only option is for us to want to get out of that darkness. Isn't that so? And when we persevere, when we become confident, when we strive, we use our capabilities which we never thought we had to overcome these problems. And that is how we realize that we are actually the light ourselves. And sometimes we wonder, why is it that we have all of these problems in our lives? Why do we have such irritating people who push our buttons all the time and they always seem to be in our face, that kind of a thing. And for years I would contemplate on this, because when I would sit in the prayer room to do my daily prayer, all the problems and all the irritating people will come into my vision. And you'd wonder, I'm here to pray to God, not to those people. But Swami is showing us. He's showing us something. I used to always say to him, Swami, what is this thing about reflection, reaction that you talk about? How is it that you are saying that when I have a problem, it is those people who are hurting me, that you are saying that they are reflections of who I am? I never really understood that. Swami always says that. Swami will never take your side if you have a problem. He won't say the other person is bad. Isn't that so? Because all the problems are actually within ourselves. And so, after contemplating on all of these for many, many years, I never ever got a satisfactory answer as to what reaction, reflection and resound was all about. And so Swami in his graciousness allowed me to study alternative therapies. I do hypnosis and emotional freedom techniques. And I used to get clients, obviously, who have lots of issues. And whilst studying what is actually happening to these people, you can see how, if we have a problem in our life, we have asked for it. We have asked for those people to be in our lives. We've asked for these hurtful things to happen. And let me give you an example. Like someone would come in for depression. And in this particular case, this lady, her husband used to abuse her verbally and break her down literally. And so when we looked at her life, when she grew up with a dad who was very protective of her. He was pressurizing her to do well all the time. And she couldn't do what she wanted in life. So her belief system became, men know what the right thing is. And they know they have to tell you what to do in your life. And you are not in control. And as we went back further in time into a previous life, we found that she was a teacher in an African country, and she had students that were around her she was trying to bring up in life, and empower them with education. And there was one particular child in her class who used to really irritate her, and she would, because he wasn't interested in studying and those kind of things. And in this previous life, what happened was she used to take out all her frustrations on this particular child. She used to verbally abuse him. So what happens? This particular child becomes her husband in this lifetime. And he's doing the exact same thing to her. So the karma is now complete. So we can see now, this is how what Swami says about reaction, reflection and result. It was enlightenment for me as well as for them. Then on another occasion, I found myself, I have lots of clients who have lots of serious problems in their life, and I thought, sure, why don't we get more people involved in helping them? And so Swami sent the idea here again. He says, why don't you start a forum where you can get people to send in their names so we can start praying, others can start praying for them. And we started an email forum which is called Let Us Pray. We have about 200 people who are on this forum. And literally they take the names of the people who are on that list and they pray for them. And there's been quite a few miracles that happened as well. And just a few weeks ago, I was at a recording studio to make those backtracks. And because I've been doing a play in South Africa about Swami's passing. And when I went to the studio, it was like such a dark place. There was so much of dark energy there. And the reason was because the people who employed, they were very unhappy because their boss hadn't paid them on time. And it's something that happens regularly. So it's like Swami just threw me into this boiling point of, everybody being so angry. And I had to prepare for the film shoot. So I had like this angel outfit on and things. And while we were there, the program didn't want to work. The guy is complaining to no end about everything that's happening there. And he even threatened to walk out during the session. And so I just put my hands like this. I visualized this whole place, and I just chanted continuously. And as I was chanting, the program came up. But the sound guy was very unhappy, just decided I've had enough, and he's leaving in the middle of the recording. And I followed him with my whole outfit and everything. And we went outside and I said to him, you know what, I am a therapist. I'd like to help you if you'll allow me to. And I don't enjoy seeing you like this. So he says, this boss, he's like this. And, he always does this. He treats me like this and whatnot. So there's one technique I do, which is tapping. It's called tapping. So we were doing this for him, and I allowed him to release. And I said, I want you to imagine God. You're breathing in God and breathe out this negativity that's inside of you. And we kept tapping like this. We did it for about 10 minutes, and he stepped back and he says, who are you? Where did you come from? I'm feeling so much better. And because I had an angel outfit and I'm a dramatic person, I raised my hands and I said, I'm an angel. God sent me to heal you. And so this guy was like so, incredibly amazed by everything. He came back inside, he finished the recording. And I had to go back there a week later and he says, what you did for me last week was like, I said, it wasn't me. And even though those people still didn't get paid, the energy was completely different. So it's sometimes Swami sends us to places, to do things, to convey messages, to uplift. And we must know that we must pay attention. What is it that he wants wherever it is that we go? One of the most endearing things I think that happened was when I pray, I say to Swami, this is a kind of relationship I have with him, I said, Swami, I want you to call me darling from now onwards. And, you play these games with God. And so I went to pick up my son from school that day in the afternoon. And when he jumped into the car, he says, hello, darling. And he's a 5-year-old. So I said to him, why are you calling me darling, Syrian? And he says, don't you like to be called darling, mum? And he wasn't in the prayer room with me, obviously. But this is the power of God's omnipresence. He knows exactly what we need. But I must tell you that since, he's passing, since we've acknowledged that God is talking to us, he has literally taken us places. I mean, I never thought I'll come to New York ever, really, But we've been to Sai medical camps, and in the Sai medical camps, they've never allowed alternative therapies before, and now we are literally doing Reiki and all of those energy healing techniques at the medical camps now, the Sai medical camps. He's taken us to Grama Sevas, really way out in the communities. And when we go to these homes, we get a group of people together who have the ability to do Reiki, and we're sending love and light into this community, And people are able to feel it. We're doing EHV with the children in the townships. We go to places where we feed the street, the homeless people. And there too, we're just listening to what they have to say, and we're praying for them. We actually stand around them and we pray, and we give these great energies. We offer courses where we teach people to literally heal themselves, to heal Mother Earth. And life has changed so much. You're so much more conscious of what you're doing with even the glass bottle that you have. You can't just throw it in the bin, because that's not what God wants of us. You must recycle this. We must not waste too much of water. We must not waste energy in whatever form. And if you continuously listen, you'll realize that He's talking to us all the time. Sometimes I even tell Him, I said, Swami, gosh, you can speak a lot, hey? And He'll say, do you want me to stop speaking to you, Panu? I'll say, no, Swami, please don't stop speaking to me, But all I can say is that when we start paying attention to what God wants from us, life will change for all of us. And wasn't it Swami who said, when you said yes to me, you gave up the right to be like everyone else. When you said yes to me, you gave up the right. And also he has said, he used to say initially that my life is my message, and he changed that. Your life is now my message, he says. And he also says, people will know me by my devotees. So that is essentially the message that I have come to share with you. And if you'll allow me now, I'd like to teach you a song, a Zulu song actually, if it's okay. Is it okay? It's called Siyabonga. Siyabonga means thank you. It's very simple words. Maybe if you can just type it out. Siyabonga. Can we type that out? Comes, maybe you should do it. Siyabonga. And Swami says, let the different faiths exist. Let them flourish. Let the glory of God be sung in all the languages and a variety of tunes. That should be the ideal. He says, respect the differences between the faith. Recognize them as valid as long as they do not extinguish the flame of unity. Okay, it's a very simple song, and the words are Siyabonga. Can you say that? Siyabonga. Siyabonga. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Jesu. Right, U Jesu is Jesus, U Allah is Allah, U Krishna, and then Sai Baba. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Jesu. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Jesu. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Jesu. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Jesu. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Allah. Siyabonga, Siyabonga, U Allah. Siyabonga, O Allah. Siyabonga, O Jesus. Siyabonga, O Allah. Siyabonga, O Krishna. Siyabonga, Sai Baba. We say thank you, oh Jesus. We say thank you, oh Allah. We say thank you, oh Krishna. We say thank you, Sai Baba. Siyabonga, oh Jesus. Siyabonga, oh Allah. Siyabonga, oh Krishna. Siyabonga, Sai Baba. We say thank you, oh Jesus. We say thank you, oh Allah. We say thank you, oh Krishna. We say thank you, Sai Baba. We say thank you, Sai Baba. We say thank you, Sai Baba. I'd like to thank all of you for listening today. And if I leave here with any message, it is that God is with us all the time. He's talking to every single one of us all the time. Pay careful attention. If you really want to know what He's saying, and even if you don't trust what you're saying, write your answers down. Ask the same question many times, write the answers down, and only write what He tells you to write. Okay? And sometimes He'll tell you, yes, this, not that, but it's something that you need to practice. I have a request, if you can sing a few bhajans. Gosh. I wanted to end off with one more bhajan. Is that okay? Okay, this is the last song, and it's called Come Let's All Together Light the Lamps of Our Hearts. And while we're singing the song, if you can put your hands on your hearts right now, and let us feel this heartbeat. And who is it that allows this heart to beat in our lives? Who is it that makes these limbs move, this face smile, this, everything? He allows everything to happen. It's only God, isn't that so? God, in whatever form, in whatever way that it is you believe. So it's called Come Let's All Together, and we will allow Swami now to come and light the lamps of love in our hearts. Come, let's all together light the lamps of our hearts. Light of truth, Sathya Sai has ignited. Let सदीप जलाए सब मिलकर दीप सदीप जलाए सत्य दीप साई ने जलाए सत्य दीप साई ने जलाए हम मन के दीप जलाए हम दीप जलाए आओ हम सब मिलकर दीप सदीप 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 जलाए हम मन के दीप जलाए जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। साई राम।
Thank you very much. Sister Panu, if we can please express our gratitude once again. Thank you very much for sharing your perspective and letting us know how Swami's divine grace continues to flow through each one of us. Thank you. Speaking of divine grace, India Today recently published a special commemorative issue on our beloved Swami entitled Divine Grace, and we received this copy today. This will be in our center library. I encourage you to please borrow this and take a look. It has some very interesting articles by Sai devotees. One copy is going to be made available to our center library. Next Sunday, our center will not be meeting in this particular hall. This hall is not available.
Swami Sarva Pranapate गुरुदेवा शांति शांति शांति।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की
जय।
साई माता जी की।